Hello, my name is Aliyah Ms from Power Your Story podcast. Welcome to season 3. This season, our thing is standing up for what you believe, social justice, change, and making a difference. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. My name is Aliyah Ms from Power Your Story podcast from Ray Grant Training Center High School in Chicago. And today I'm here with one of our teachers, Ms. Delgado.
Yes, hi, my name is Delgado. I'm a paraprofessional, and I actually do work with Aliyah Ms.
So, Ms. Delgado, here on our podcast for season 3, we talk about changing the world and making a difference, and well as social justice. So, I took my time to remember what you told me one time about what you did, that you rescued a family in a burning car accident. And till this day, I'm still amazed about what you did. And I feel like you made a difference because of your action. It was completely heroic. And I want to ask just like a couple of questions. So what happened in the beginning?
The car in front of me got into an accident, and then I just pulled over and went to go see what was going on.
What did you see? Like, what happened?
I figured there was maybe elderly or children that were hurt. So I just went over there and opened the door, and all of a sudden I just saw like dust, white powder all over from the, what do they call that they erupt?
Yeah, those airbags.
Airbags, I'm sorry. The
yeah,
airbags.
It's okay, yeah.
You know, they let all this white powder. So these children were all full of white powder, but then they were bleeding. One of the boys had an open gash in his forehead, and the other little girl had lost her teeth, and the other baby was just crying. One interesting thing that I found out was the reason that they were hurt was because they didn't have on their seat belt.
Oh, that's so terrible.
So that was really bad.
So during the accidents, I know you got them out the car. So how did you get the kids out?
Yes, they were screaming, so it wasn't really difficult because they wanted, like I said, they didn't have a seatbelt on. So I just grabbed them and I got them out of the car and I set them on the floor. The little boy was bleeding profusely, so just a box of Kleenex fell onto the ground. So I got all the Kleenex and then I just held pressure on his head, and I just told him to hold on to the Kleenex. And I went back, I turned around, and I took the other two children out from the car, and then they were just squeezing me and hugging me, and they wouldn't let me move. They were crying, they were scared, so they were just crying for mommy. And then I went over to the driver, and it was their older sister, and she was like passed out, and so I really couldn't help her because of the children. So it was really, really, I was really, really nervous and scared because I didn't know what to do. But luckily I had my cell phone in my pocket, so then I called 911. But it seemed like eternity from that point on until the ambulance arrived.
Have you ever felt like you could have done something differently, like before you even got to them?
You know, Leah, no, not really. I just felt I had to do what I had to do. And there was gasoline leaking from the car, so I don't know, I just got even more nervous because I said maybe, the car might explode or the car might catch on fire. So I don't know, I just acted quickly. My adrenaline was just going, it was just pumping, and I never thought I could do something like that.
I don't know, it's just like that moment, you gotta realize you could have died. Something would have gone wrong, and you just didn't know what to do.
Yes, the smoke was coming out of the front of the car. It was like, I don't know what was burning or what was going on. And like I said, I pulled them a couple of inches away from the car so they would be away from the car. But if it would have exploded, we would have been right there. And I didn't think about it until I got home. I got super emotional. I just realized what I had done. And I started crying. I guess it finally got to me once I got home. I realized, oh my God, what did I just do? But then I had a funny smell, and I kept on smelling myself. I didn't realize all my clothes were drenched in blood. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, that's the smell. So, I went and I took a hot bath, and I just kind of relaxed and realized, wow, like I said, I didn't know I could do something like that.
Yeah, it's just so amazing. Even this day, you just rescue somebody. You ever contact the family after the accident?
You know what? I gave them my number But no, they really didn't contact me. The only ones that contacted me were all the insurances from all the 3 cars that were in the accident. But what was disturbing to me was when the ambulance arrived and the police department, they told me to move my car, and then they were just very rude. They started yelling at me. And when I moved my car out of the way, I came back, and the firefighter said, who are you? What are you doing here? Just didn't treat me right. And I said, I'm the person that was here. I was like the first responder before you even got here. And he's like, well, move out of the way. He was just like super rude.
I don't know.
So I didn't appreciate that. After all I did, they come and they treat you like, they didn't treat me right.
Yeah, maybe he was a little bit frustrated, or just like, I know just like a lot of police officers and firemen go through a lot of stress and like had to like do a lot of things, be in a rush, and well, it's like doing stuff like that. So I wouldn't judge too quickly. At the same time, he probably would have been like a bit nicer because you was there before him. And
yes, and that's what I told him. I was here before you were here, so I'm telling you what happened. So you need to lower your tone of voice. So once he looked at me, I think he kind of backed away a little.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, just like, to be honest, you was the true hero in the story. So when it comes to something like that, even though some people can be rude, when it comes to like a certain situation, you can't judge too quickly about something about that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess, like you said, they do a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of stress, and there's a lot of crazy people, so he could have thought you was some crazy person trying to get on the action or something like that.
Right, you're absolutely right.
My last question is, do you think you and other teachers are making a difference in this school, knowing you're a teacher who rescued a bunch of kids and a family member, and knowing that, do you feel like you made a difference?
I think so. I think being a teacher overall, it makes you humanitarian, and you have compassion. I think it's just in the part of the job that you do. I think you're a teacher 24/7. And I think I was just maybe being a teacher by helping out that day. So I think it does make a difference. I think teachers make a big difference in this world.
Yeah, I swear, I'm really glad. I mean, I seriously think you should get an award or something.
Oh, thank you, Aliyah. You're so sweet. But you know what? In my mind, I knew what I did. And if I could, I'd do it all over again.
I want to say, Ms. Delgado, I'd like to thank you for just coming here today, and let me hear this story one more time and just get everybody to hear your story out here in Power Your Story podcast.
Well, thank you, Aliyah. You're such a great student, and I thank you for choosing me to come here and record and have you interview me.
Of course. You're like the main reason why we should like always thank our teachers, because they're here for us and here to teach us anything for our world, and I think that's the most important.
Yeah, and you know what, Aliyah, one last thing. If I were to be in an accident like that, I would like somebody to come and open the door and check to see if I'm okay. God forbid, if one day I get into an accident, I want someone to come and check to see if I'm okay. So
yeah, me too. And thank you, absolutely, just thank you. I feel like this story needs to get out somewhere.
Well, thank you, Aliyah, so much. And yeah, you too, you make a difference by telling me that. So thank you so much, Aliyah.
You're welcome. I'm Aliyah Rich for Power Your Story podcast, and thank you for listening.
Power Your Story podcast is produced by students at Ray Graham Training Center High School in Chicago, Illinois.
With the production support from After School Matters and the Creative Impostor Studios.
Today's episode was produced by
Aliyah Rich.
You can find our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio. Click on the web at poweryourstorypodcast.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as Power Your Story Podcast.
Thank you for listening. Peace.